Hey, Ben Shapiro criticizes right for victimhood mentality. Let's get it. Let's hop right into it. No time to waste. Boom. Boom.
Tonight, is the right becoming the left? Ben Shapiro is claiming that the party that has long criticized Democrats for having a victimhood mentality is now sending that same message to Gen Z. Listen.
I think that the right is actually weirdly feminizing young men by giving them a victimology to buy into. Listen, if you're failing in life, yes, we can get the obstacles out of your way, but kind of, it's a little your fault. It's a little your fault. You should actually pick your ass up and go out and do something useful. And this notion that you as a Gen Z male are facing these obstacles that no other human has faced for all of human history, like read a book for once, like seriously, like go talk to your grandfather.
What do you think?
I do love listening to Ben Shapiro. Look, I think that he sees the problem he described, popping its head up on the right, and he's going to have none of it. I agree with him. Victimhood is a path to more problems. It isn't a meaning identifying oneself that way as your primary focus instead of trying to solve the problems that are out there. And he said, get yourself off your butt. Start working on these problems, and I agree 100%. I mean, frankly, that attitude helped make America the greatest country in the history of the world.
I guess I'm just surprised that now, this very moment, is the first time that this thought has crossed his mind, because I do think that actually the victimhood mentality is something that has helped power Trumpism. I mean, it's all been about what they are doing to us, how we are the victims, how the immigrants are taking our jobs, how other countries are taking our jobs. Everything is victimhood in Trump's world. So this is not really all that new. I'm surprised.
And to be fair, the left does it too. The left plays the victimhood mentality just like the right does. They both use victimhood to make people, to gather people around to whatever cause they're trying to push forth. Not deflecting from her point. I do think there's a lot of victimhood on the right too that the right doesn't realize is victimhood. But yeah, I agree with Ben Shapiro on what he said. Everybody throughout history has been dark for everyone. It's been dark for everyone. So the conversation of victimhood on any end right now is strange. Let's keep going.
I disagree with your assessment. I mean, I think what drove a lot of President Trump's coalition is a whole bunch of people who felt like they were doing everything that they've been told to do. Get up every day, go to work, pay their taxes, take care of their families, play by the rules. And they were living under systems that were then forcing them to pay taxes and deal with other ideologies and cultural issues that were essentially harming their lives or causing them to not be able to live their lives. So they're playing by the rules. They're playing by the rules.
You're describing a victimhood mentality.
No, I'm describing people who get up and go to work. Well, if you want to describe working class America that follows the laws and pay their taxes as victims, go ahead, but that's not how
But you're saying that.
Hold on, before they finish, he just made a good point. Like, people who work feel as though they should have a slight easier time with surviving in this world. I don't see anything wrong with what he just said. But let's see the reaction.
Look, everybody is doing everything right? But other people are putting something on.
Like illegal immigrants who come here and take up public resources. They're not doing things right, but the left, and you would argue that it's okay to leave them here. The working class of this country would say, no, they broke the rules, they broke the rules, and I didn't, and yet they get more than I do.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
But Scott, not all of the problems in this country are the responsibility of immigrants. Would you agree with that?
Yes, some are.
Some are.
Yeah.
But that's an example of something that
to agree to that, though. Wow. On both ends.
It's a lot of what you're saying, that it's other countries screwing us over, it's immigrants screwing us over, and where in the Trump mentality is it that I don't know, according to Ben Shapiro, that we need to pick ourselves up and do something.
The fascinating part about
you don't have to accept it. The Trump ethos would be, we don't have to accept it, we can fight back. And what Ben is saying, I think, is the same thing. Like, don't sit on your ass and just say, well, woe is me, I'm a victim, and there's nothing I can do about it. The actual answer is, you live in the greatest country in the world. Of course there's
the fascinating part about this argument, and the fascinating part about watching this argument play out just in being here, is that we've been able to articulate these same arguments for a very long period of time.
that you've had 300 years of slavery, that you've had 100 years of Jim Crow, that you've had redlining, you've had the remnants of it, you've had state-sanctioned violence from Emmett Till all the way forward. And as soon as somebody articulates those things, for any reason that you may be running behind in the race that we call America, then all of a sudden we're playing victim. But in you two's mind, it doesn't quite articulate. It doesn't compute the same way.
It was very notable that Scott used the word systems that are
correct.
affected.
Is it wrong?
But
No,
it's
it's
wrong.
not wrong
I'm just
to
saying.
expect people to enforce.
But hold on, Scott.
He made a good point too. It's a really good point. Like, so like if we're talking about victimhood mentality, and we got to add victimhood mentality, and we're talking about things that people are being subjected to in this country as of right now, you also have to give people the point that other, like, white men and some white women, but to a degree, but mostly white men, had more of a chance at the very beginning to actually build America and do what they needed to do. Other groups of people didn't get that same opportunity. But we're coming into it now.
All I'm just saying is that when people talk about systemic racism,
but
you guys say that is a made up thing.
This is where
I'm describing systems where people are encouraged to break the law.
This is where Scott and I agree, and it frustrates the people on the left, who I love, and the people on the right, who Scott loves, because I just want the systems to be fair. Like, I don't want the systems to pick winners and losers, but I want the systems to be fair. And I think Scott would agree with that as well. But you also have to realize that for 400 years, they weren't, right? So we need to make sure that we do everything above and beyond. I can't make you dance. I just want everybody to have an opportunity to have an equal dance floor.
Well, good news. I can't make me dance. So, but that's why I think where have you been so long? Kind of connecting your comment to Abby's is the picking winners and losers. So you don't have to look Republican versus Democrat. You can look right inside the GOP at the Chamber of Commerce wing of the GOP versus ordinary people. And the Chamber of Commerce wing has been winning for most of my lifetime until along came a guy named Donald Trump. And he's very unorthodox, and he does things a very different way, but he is, within the GOP, he is changing that focus. The focus has shifted much more to regular people than it ever was for most of my lifetime.
The Chamber of Commerce is at the White House every single week.
Is it though? It seems like it went more to billionaires now, and I think his base is starting to recognize that to some degree too. So I don't know about that being true.
But that doesn't totally
fine with the Chamber of
Abby,
Commerce.
please.
Meta,
this isn't binary.
Google,
this isn't 0 or 1.
Apple.
Yeah, but
you
can't
name it.
call
They are
a
at
Donald
the
Trump.
White House every single week.
You cannot call a Donald Trump agenda a Chamber of Commerce agenda.
They call him all the time and ask for carve-outs. They ask for breaks. They ask for carve-outs and
just a big lobbying
I'm just saying, the individual companies that comprise the Chamber of Commerce, they don't have to go through the chamber anymore. They can just walk right in the front doors of the White House and get the things that they're asking for. You can't. I take your point about the populism that Trump ran on, but the governance of the Trump administration has been that if OpenAI needs something, if one of these other companies needs something, they call, and then he says, you know what, we're going to exempt you from this policy. How is that not a Chamber of Commerce mindset, as opposed to what is he doing for the average American that is actually on the receiving end of his policy, specifically tariffs? The people who are going to the grocery store and buying a box of Folgers, and they're paying a markup because of tariffs. What do you think
the chamber thinks of those tariffs? I think we've heard that pretty clearly.
I'm asking what do regular Americans think about this?
Americans is the key word.
Americans is the key word.
Alienating the young men right here with comments.
Okay, nightcaps. They are next, and it is.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like, this is my thing again. I have the same question for conservatives that I've been having this whole time. Like, I'm confused. I thought conservatives believed that no government interference is where they want to go. Yet a tariff is a complete, is government interference at its max. That's government infiltrating in the market 100%. But I mean, it is what it is. All right, y'all. Bye.